Hey everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to my new Let's Play, the Stanley Parable, which was the winner of my poll for which game I should do a Let's Play of next. Thanks to you guys who voted and for all of your recommendations. There were a lot of great choices, and this is a game that I really don't know too much about. I know vaguely it's a game where you work in an office and you can go and do things and there's a narrator, but other than that, I really don't know too much about it. I admit it's one that flew under the radar for me, and that's why I love asking you guys for recommendations, is because you give me suggestions for games I might not play, and then I play them, and for the most part, I usually end up really enjoying them. So let's hope that's the case for this game, too. I'm going to stop babbling on, we're going to get into it, and let's see what happens.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, so that's what the narrator wants me to do, but what if I just not do that? Because, I mean, that is what I've learned, is like, this is about choice. I could just go and just do what I want. I don't actually know what the controls are, I just know how to move. Is there a way to, like, interact with things? I want to just, like, start flipping things around and stuff, but I don't know if I can do that. Alright, I guess we'll leave. If I can get the controls. Man, it's been a long time since I've used a keyboard. You know, the WASD for movement. This is very strange. Okay, can I... Okay, there we go. So I can actually use that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, I did something.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I just want to do things enough that the narrator's going to get pissed off at me and be like, okay, do what you're supposed to do. You're Stanley, you're supposed to do what you're being told. But no, I've been given free will and I'm going to do what I want eventually, and then I'll eventually do what he wants me to do.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make us... Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
And here I was saying I wasn't going to do what the narrator told me to do. I didn't even know there was an achievement for clicking the door. Alright. 2. 4.
I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
He's just going to increase the number. It's like, oh no, 200. No, 1,000. I wonder if there is actually an achievement.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to listen to what he's saying. I'm going to do other things. I'm just going to click on all the things a bunch. I'm just going to be a little rebel. I apologize if the controls are giving you guys whiplash. Well, like I said, I am not used to using the keyboard for controls. Usually I use a mouse. So, or not a mouse, sorry, like an actual controller. Can I stand up on the desk? I'm just gonna be a shit disturber. I just want to fling things around. I just want to go nuts. Oh, I can't stand on the desk. Come on, narrator, you gotta comment on that. Come on. Nothing? Nothing? Ugh, okay. Okay, so where is this meeting room? I will eventually do what he is telling me to do. Ooh, 417. Isn't that where he wanted me to do all the clicks? I'm not gonna do it, but... Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that's just coffee. I was like, is that blood? Oh! Oops. Okay, didn't even know I did that. I have no idea where I'm going. Ah, if only I could get in there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, I'm kind of liking this already. I love this sarcastic sense of humor. This is pretty good. You're just gonna hear a lot of clicking in this episode. And you guys have let me know this is a very short game, and I did check, you know, the game length, and the average game length of this is like an hour if you're just kind of doing a playthrough, so who knows, maybe I can even do this in 1 episode, 2 at the most probably, and then I'll probably do another short Let's Play.
Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Click, 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 click.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Ah, alright, alright, alright.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Oh, now I kind of wish I'd stayed in the room and just made the narrator more and more uncomfortable. Oh, open door. Oh.
And so he detoured through the maintenance
Oh.
section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
But of course I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do everything else but that at first, and then eventually do that. Click, 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 click. Can I go down? Ooh. Hello. Oh, okay. Here we go. Narrator's probably not going to be too happy about this. What am I doing? What have I done?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
I guess I don't really have a choice.
Oh, no, it's
Oh,
to the right.
Okay. He's trolling me right now. He's like, this is what you...
No,
Oh!
no, no, not the right. Why would I
Uh-oh.
ever said it was to the right?
Am I being punished right
Was I
now?
thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh boy, am I trapped in here because I went too far off course?
Now, let's see. We went down right, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
I know this isn't a horror game, but why does this feel like a horror game right now? Why does it feel like I am about to walk into something really bad? Especially with the red light and the darkness and... Oh boy, what have I done? Oh! Whoa! Okay, hold up.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to,
Fired.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unuseful.
Oh, did I already...
How about rather than waste my time trying to solve
Oh
this
my
nonsense,
gosh.
we'll just restart the game from
All
the
right.
beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Well, alright. Okay, I guess I'll do what I'm supposed to do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder what happens if I do that again, and I just get more and more, just like he's just gonna get more and more frustrated with me if I keep just disobeying him. Because you know he hasn't forgotten what I just did.
When Stanley... Wait.
What?
What? No, I restarted. I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure.
Ooh.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's find the story. I like this. This is what I'm talking about. All these options. Open world office. New style of RPG. Except I'm gonna get so lost in here. Oh my goodness, I have no idea where I'm going. I have already regret this.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
Oh my god, it's just gonna keep
Do we
looping?
need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's...
Wait, I found something. Ah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just curious what happens if... Ooh, got a monitor on here. Oh, okay, it just turns it off. I was hoping to maybe find some information, but... I wonder what happens if I just stay here for a bit. I gotta say, after standing here for about a minute, you really start to notice little details like the stains on the carpet. Nice little touches, and just the droning of just the lights. Alright, well I guess I'm more impatient than the narrator because I'm like, okay, I don't know if there actually would have been something for me standing around for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but I frankly don't have the time for that, so... Figured I'd just try some things and see, see if something happened. So far, very clever. I am liking this. I'm always down for some, sarcastic British humor. Ooh. I wish I could actually check out computers instead of just turning them off. I'm just like, what am I going to walk into this time?
Okay, yep, it's worse.
There's
You're remembering this wrong.
no
It's
doors.
possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay, I was afraid I wasn't even going to be able to get out. Okay, this time I'll do what he says and see what happens.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh, okay. Huh. Oh. Why is it so creepy, though?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Woo!
Congratulations!
Yay!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so...
Yeah. Thank you. I know it's totally sarcastic, but thank you.
I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Good, because I was getting weirded out by it too. I wonder what would have happened if I just right from the beginning. If I just done what he had said right from the start. I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to do this a bunch. I'm just going to piss him off even more. There's a literal line telling me where to go and I'm just like, nope, I am not doing it. I'm just being contrarian and I am just not going to listen to you.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Super simple, which is why I'm not going to do it. Ooh, ooh. Just having a moment with this plant over here. It's just making a different noise and that makes me happy. I wonder if he's going to comment on if I click the door a lot again. Alright. I haven't been in here yet, though. Ooh, someone was playing some solitaire. Can I get up on... get up on there. Sorta, kinda. I want to play solitaire. I can't even turn off the computer. Come on. Surprised no comment yet about it. It's like, oh, you cannot even follow a simple straight line. You truly are a genius.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Stick with me.
No.
We can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I'm not
I'd like to
following.
apologize.
I'm just clicking
Not sure
things.
where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
All right, all right, all right. I'm going. Just, jeez. Oh, this is new. Is there a jump button? I want to go down this way. I want to go everywhere that the game doesn't want me to go. For some reason, this game is giving me, like, the Good Place vibes. I don't know why. Just the whole, I guess, existential, you know, existence of our being and all that stuff. It's like, okay. Ooh. Monthly ledgers, corporate imbalances, financial records. Employee 432 peer reviews. I'm trying to remember which number is Stanley. Is he 432? I've already forgotten. Oh my gosh, it's going all over the place here.
Wait, cut the music.
Please.
Go back and look at that fern.
Thank God. Oh my God, that music was driving me crazy.
This fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Is time moving? No, time seems to have stopped. Okay. How long do I have to look at the fern? Will the narrator tell me when enough time has passed, or can I just assume I've looked at the fern enough? Alright, we're going on. Hopefully that was enough time. Hopefully this fern... We'll see if it actually comes
Wait,
back.
what?
Oh.
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
What happens if I go back this way? That's going all over the place. So this is where I came from. Is he gonna say something if I go back? Doesn't look like it. Alright. So it goes over here, and then out this way. Oh, okay, here it is again.
Oh, no. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Alright, this time I will follow... Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna follow the line this time, like, exactly.
We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Alright, for this one, I'm gonna do everything that he tells me to, unless I see something that distracts me.
This is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
We're just going in a square, aren't we?
Use your
Yeah.
imagination.
We're
Whatever
just
it might be, Stanley.
we're just going in
I'm
a square.
ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Alright, I will not acknowledge it. Although I just happen to be following the same path anyway, there's nowhere I could go. I could technically go back if I wanted to, but... I'm being contrarian again, like now that he's saying, like, you can do whatever you want, I'm just gonna do exactly what he says. I'm just gonna follow the... Oh, but I'm beginning...
a
okay.
choice. We get to make a decision.
I was gonna
The
go back
story
this
is in
way.
Our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that
I'll just do exactly what he tells me to.
somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
The confusion ending.
Oh, hold on,
What?
what's this?
Let's see. Deviate from maintenance room and at first restart.
You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what,
Fourth
eight
restart.
times?
You've been playing the... Oh my god, this is
Really
awesome.
how all this goes? It's all determined?
That's so funny.
Now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what
Narrator is gone after a long time. Stanley dies.
blank simply because it's written here on this thing wall.
Find a bookstore, get bored and
Insulted
leave.
me.
Narrator
Why
restarts the
don't I
game.
get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
Nonsense philosophy and music.
Someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Oh, Jesus, that got me. That's a whole thing too, is like I thought I was being all like, oh, I'm doing what I want, but I'm doing exactly what the game wants me to do at the same time. The game is expecting me to do all these dumb things. Oh, okay.
Stanley simply couldn't
Uh-oh.
handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. Okay, I'm running out now before that door closes on me again.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay. So we're back to the beginning
Stanley
now.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, I'm gonna head right there this time. What is waiting for me at the meeting room this time? Will there be a meeting room?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll do it this time. That's what started the whole thing, was the fact that I went right, which is probably exactly what the game expected me to do. Tips for not getting fired.
Not a single person here either.
Talk less.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Oh.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it passive-aggressively out on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Okay, I've got to read all these. What do people want? Things. Happy feelings. Mike, James, you are fired. Money, more money. Things, but with money to buy more things? Graphs? Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Everyone is unique, you most of all. Number of slides on this slide. We need less reviews. 402 plus 405 want to get rid of the death support portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Chart needs to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net? Some sort of child toy? Work harder, hard worker. No more bin, trash can, 20 renaming, 30 firing of me. Throw something in the ideas bin. Space between the teenagers. A lot of percentage. I gotta say, we have a board in the back of my work, and it's not quite like this, but I am getting some flashbacks here. You know, things about, like, come up with new ideas and blah-de-blah-de-blah. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Oh boy. Once again, sorry guys, these controls though. Targets. Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machines. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Synergize paper. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire someone to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the target on the topic of blank. Can I get up on here? Can I? Let me up on the desk. I want to go. Oh boy, there's more to do. Synergize. Core values. Expenditures. Shift global market parade. Monetize free to play. Those of you guys who work in an office, does this seem, how close to reality is this? I have worked in an office, but thankfully I've never had to go to meetings like this, so not too bad. I got to avoid all this, bullshit, so I'm thankful for that. Oh, wait, wasn't there a guy in the broom closet? They said get
Stanley
guy out of the
stepped
broom
into
closet.
closet. But there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I know I said I was going to listen to the narrator, but I feel like this broom closet, there's something in here that's
Nothing
important.
here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just there doing sweet FA. Are you really in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
This door action, though, is very satisfying.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branch. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this. Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection.
Oh my
That's how
God.
stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley's addicted to drugs and hookers.
And this is why I'm staying in the broom closet. Come on, what else? Hit me with something
I've
else.
come
Come
to
on.
a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Oh.
When you've done that, just step out onto a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And here I am doing it again. I was hoping as I walked out while he was doing that, he's gonna be like, "Oh, okay, you're still alive, I guess." Ooh, creepy again. It's gonna reset if I go down here, isn't it? Is there something over here? And this is exactly what the game's expecting you to do. The game wants you to, like,
Stanley just couldn't do it.
wants you to go and do
Considered
this.
the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All
Oh,
because
no.
he believed everyone had vanished. His
Uh-oh.
boss would think
Well,
he was crazy.
I'm locked in now.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
Ooh, the
why
exit.
couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close
Whoa.
automatically behind him wherever he went?
I'm shooketh right now.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion
Oh,
that had been on the
it just
tip of his
looped.
tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently
Oh.
float above the ground.
Oh, am I gonna clip through?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything?
Oh, we got something new here.
Thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone.
Oh boy.
Tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And
Ooh.
everything went black.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
This is the story of
Oh.
a woman named
Oh.
Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh my gosh.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Huh. All right, so is this going to be okay? Is it going to restart? Oh, it is going to restart. Okay. But am I still Stanley? I am still Stanley, 427. So is this starting completely over? Does the narrator remember everything that happens?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit.
Okay.
Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
I wonder what happens if I just don't mess with any of the computers. I usually turn them all off. So let's try things differently this time. I'll still do some exploring, but try not to mess with things too much. What I was gonna say before all that is, I wonder if that's PT got a little bit of its inspiration from there with just the going through and just everything is the same, just looping rooms.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, I want to go to the one on my right. I want to see if he's like, really again? I'm gonna do it.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted
Okay,
to
so
stop by
this
the
is-
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So this is exactly how it was before.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
Has anything
Thank
changed?
goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room.
Although he's saying something a little bit different.
Having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. Really, really worth it being here.
All right, all right.
A room so utter, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the
All right.
opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
So we want to go to the boss's
Feeling a
office.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
But first, broom closet.
No, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you
So he
enjoy
does
doing
remember.
So much in this room. Please take your time.
Okay, I've had my fun.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, fancy.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
1111.
284. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no. But it turned out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
That seems like a little bit of an
Stanley got the
oversight.
hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
It's like if you just put the numbers in enough times wrong, then it's just going to just be like, all right, screw it, we'll just do it for you anyway. So creepy, though. Okay, so now it wants me to go down this time.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, I know playing certain games after a long, creepy elevator ride, nothing good is going to be waiting for me down here.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No. That doesn't sound good. Can I go back up? No. Of course not. Escape. I mean, this seems like a trap, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Well, I gotta see that.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
And literally, yep. Oh boy, am I gonna have to start all the way from the beginning. Narrator's like, well, you chose to do that, so yes. Oh. Oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
Can I just...
Perhaps his death
Uh...
loss, like plugging the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief life. Farewell, Stanley.
Well, I mean, I knew what I was getting into with this. Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Huh.
In a single visceral instant,
Okay.
Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What? Yeah. Can I move anywhere? I see the Stanley Parable, yes. Yes, but... Is there any way I can get out of here, though? Seems like I can't...
And yet
Oh, there we go. Derp.
Before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Ooh, I can go the opposite way. She's gonna get fed up with me, too. I don't even know where I am.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh my gosh, it's got the whole path. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections had been added and altered throughout development. The core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor had been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Just has all of the things from the office here. The set of 2 open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once the room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game with buttons. When buttons are pressed, each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthetic tone. Is there anything if I actually press Stanley's computer? Nope. Alright. Oh, why didn't I? I wonder what would have happened if I had just gone through the door I was supposed to. If I'll be able to reset and do that again. The office. The maintenance room. I wonder if there'll be any clues here about what I'm supposed to do. Larger words. If someone could get rid of this text, maybe then I could see what the game is about. The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to lose. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. These are the screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD Remix. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. Narrator emails. After the second trailer was sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Subjects. Oh boy. I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art, standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art, which is why I'm eager to see a sequel, prequel, standalone companion game. Art needs a good censoring. Oh, god damn it. How is the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one from a cool man. How do you make a JPEG? Or JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? Can you tell me the significance of the number? Oh my gosh. Will the Stanley Parable have infinite quests? How many endings? The Stanley Parable is really good. Really going to let me go shopping. I hope it will have a fine selection of dessert boots. How do you type with boxing gloves on? Okay. I could probably spend the rest of the day just reading those emails, but we'll move it along. The apartment timer in a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Ooh, apartment ending. I'm very curious about how many actual endings there are. Or even if this apartment ending actually exists. Oh my gosh, this is huge. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right since players would replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that worked out. Oh. Okay, well here we go. First choice, obey, disobey, lounge. 2 options. This is like telling me right off the bat. Well, not right off the bat, because this is at the end. What happens if you do certain things. Zending. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Oh, okay. Zending levers. The game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. Return to menu. Escape menu. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Oop. Okay. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Oh my gosh, freedom ending. Wow, how many things are there? Countdown room, an early version of the countdown. Oh my gosh, there's... Seems like quite a bit of endings here I could have got. Stanley's office. First was created March 2011, then 2012, February 2013. Alright. Let's check out, let's go to the exit, if it is actually an exit. We shall see.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Oh. Yes, I could have hit escape, but I was curious what would happen if I didn't. Okay, it's just a blank screen now. How long is this going to be blank for? Is this the game telling me straight up I have to escape now? I actually have to quit and restart. Alright, well I guess if that's what I gotta do, that's what I gotta do. The game is now paused. Okay, so resume the game. It's just gonna stay like this. Begin the game again. There we go. Clever, clever, clever. I feel like I am going slightly crazy with just how much this is... Oh, this is
co-workers were gone.
completely different now.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Welcome to the whiteboard ending. Alright, there we go. Another ending unlocked.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Oh.
He might find an answer there.
He's had enough of my shit. I love it. He's completely closed off the broom claws. He's like, no, 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 no. No, no, no.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And what happens if I go down here again?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post.
Oh no.
during work hours.
Did I lock myself into this ending again? I guess I should have expected that.
Economy. Maybe.
We're gonna begin the game again because I'm not going through all that again. And now it's
Co-workers were
back.
gone. What could it mean?
So weird, and now
Stanley
it's back to
decided
the
go
old one.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So strange. So cool, but so strange. It really is like the PT thing. It's just going through the same thing over and over really does make you feel like you're going crazy.
Doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, this time I'll do it exactly. I'll even punch in the code
Yet
correctly
there
as
was
well.
not a sing- Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. To Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Alright, so this time we'll go through the mind control one.
Straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
Not like I haven't seen this
Each bore the
already.
number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Alright, we'll move on. Don't really have much of a choice. Or if I do, I don't know what choice I do have.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Or I'm just gonna explore first and see what happens if I don't do that. Oh, can I just leave? No, guess not. I'm just pressing buttons here. I don't actually know what they're doing. Which button is the one to just turn it all off? I'm guessing it's over here. The big red button. No? Come on, press the button. No, it's not doing anything. Okay, what about the button over here? Man, it's very jarring when a game doesn't have music. It really kind of makes you uncomfortable. Is it this button? No. Okay. Maybe I have to go further in here and turn it off from the facility power. That makes sense. I just saw a couple of big buttons and assumed that was it.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
On.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track...
Oh no, is the narrator gonna fight back right now?
I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Of course.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
I'm just pressing
This is
buttons.
much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means.
I don't know if I can actually do anything. I'm gonna probably not gonna be able to leave either. Oh,
You'd like to know where your co-workers are. A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
failsafe disabled.
That was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even...
Can I go and change it
My
now?
goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Uh-oh. Nope.
But I'm enjoying this so much.
Shoots. Okay.
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on...
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm sure there's a way that I can...
Hey, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going?
Incorrect.
What
Oh.
you're supposed to be doing right now?
No, I
Or
don't.
did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
There's something about pressing a yellow
Running
button.
from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door.
He's narrating exactly what I'm thinking.
Something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I can watch you every moment that you're powerless.
Oh,
To see you
purple.
made humble.
Incorrect.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first.
Goodbye, employee 427.
The clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left.
Eh.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces.
Oh, what happens? Begin the game again. What happens if I do that? Boom, I got out of it, and maybe I have another chance. Was I supposed to do that, or what?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Nope. Or is it already? Oh, it's already derp. It's already open. I didn't even have to do all that. Okay, so I think this time I'll turn it off, like he wanted me to do.
As the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes, he had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
All right, so here we are, back again in the office.
Stanley stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of a game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing...
All right, thank you, narrator. I was just thinking about how to end this episode. So, obviously, as they said, there's more endings to be unlocked. There's more mysteries to solve. So I wasn't able to do it all in one episode. If you guys have any maybe tips or hints that you can give me, because this is, it's a very, seems like an open-ended game about doing certain things to unlock certain endings. If there's anything that I'm missing, anything I could do, try not to spoil too much, but if you guys have anything that you'd like to let me know, please do. I always appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of the Stanley Parable. Stanley and I will just be waiting in this office with the narrator badgering me. And so stay tuned next Monday for the next episode. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.